Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Saba Show, and today we've got the match review for Everton v Watford, and it was a very stale 0-0 draw. Quite honestly, I wish I could buy my time back because that was a complete waste of time. This game comprised of very few shots on goal that were threatening, I guess you could say. It was just boring as shit, and honestly, probably was the worst performance you could have asked for from a side that is fighting to stay out of relegation. Mind you, the point was handy. It's better than losing 1-0 in the dying stages, but in saying that, there were 3 points up for grabs and we missed out on those. So if you look at it in the grand scheme of things, we've played 2 games against Watford and picked up only 1 draw. So 5 points missed out on. It's absolutely diabolical. From the very beginning of this game, it was very clear we lacked assertion. A lot of times we were going backwards. We were looking to, basically we were very content with just passing the ball around and not really willing to test that Watford backline and that Watford goalkeeper that had been under siege all year. So this was a team that, Watford were a team that had lost 11 on the trot at home. Obviously nothing to play for. They had a lot of players out. This was an opportunity, and yeah, we basically from minute 1 didn't really display that same aggression that we had shown against Leicester. The fans were in full voice, which was lovely to see, but it didn't really have the same effect on the players as it did in perhaps another fixture, which was a bit more important, like that Leicester game, like that Chelsea game. The players are obviously very, very fatigued as well. They're playing a midweek fixture, then playing a weekend fixture, then next week they're playing another midweek fixture, and then they're playing a weekend fixture. So it's very unrelenting, the fixture scheduling at the moment, so we've just got to fight through it. I mean, some people are saying, well, be happy with taking 7 points out of 9. And sure, I'm very happy to take 7 points from 9, given we had Chelsea and Leicester involved in that mix. But, I mean, what hope is there for the games to come? Saying that we're a tied unit, I mean, those 2 points, as far as I'm concerned, sure, the Chelsea and Leicester games were added bonuses, but this Watford game was one that, on paper, we needed to win. You circle that one and you say, well, we needed to win that game, and we didn't. Regardless, if we look at it from a game's perspective, Demarai Gray and Anthony Gordon were very threatening from the outside. We looked to play down the flanks most often, and that was where, the attacking threat was pretty much found for the majority of the game. But problem was with that, every single time these two got the ball, the quality was shithouse. I think we had about 13 corners to 1, and not one of them looked threatening. And they were all on deliveries from Demarai Gray or Anthony Gordon. Anthony Gordon more so on the set pieces. I can't really visualize one cross that he put in that was very dangerous. You look at players that performed extremely well. Fabian Delph and his sliding tackles are so satisfying to watch because he pulls them off every single time, and it wins the ball back for us, and allows us to advance forward. Mind you, we didn't really capitalize on that, but Alex Iwobi as well. I don't know how many times he regained possession for this team. Mind you, Watford obviously were lacking a lot of quality players, but in saying that, Iwobi just had everyone on clamps. Like, he was getting that ball on numerous occasions. Didn't really allow Watford to advance or get any continuity on the ball. So he was great, and he created or facilitated that opportunity that we had through Demarai Gray, who, man, I mean, that guy hasn't scored in ages. I think it was 15 games I heard on the broadcast, but that guy had an absolute sitter, and he somehow let the ball get away from him and just deflected it a bit wide. So quality's lacking from him. He tried to take a couple shots from the outside, but they were really forced. Anthony Gordon got through once. There was this really nice play early in the game where he basically faked the direction, looked like he was going to grab the ball and dip back towards our own goal, but instead he let the ball roll without touching it, basically shadowed it for himself, and was able to, sprint past his direct matchup. However, the end product in the first half was shithouse as well. Watford had the crosses covered. They actually held up pretty well, but in the back half of the game, it was very clear that they were just playing for the point. They threw all their chips back, and we were the guys that, it was in our hands. If we wanted to get a goal, we had to go chase it. We didn't, and it was a bit unfortunate. The substitutions, I think they should have come earlier. Demarai Gray, as I said, was pretty threatening on the wings, but the end product, the final pass, was always wrong. It was always wrong. It was always, more complicated than what it needed to be. There were times where we should have been more unselfish and didn't pass it. There were times where we should have been selfish but did pass it. It was just a number of things that went wrong. I mean, I'm complaining that this is as if this was a loss, but it really wasn't. I mean, we got an extra point. Leeds lost overnight. And, 2-point advantage. But 2 points is not enough. 4 points is much better. I mean, you go into this morning, well, at least over here, and you see 38 points to 34. Leeds have 2 games to play. If Leeds pick up the 3 points and we still pick up a point, if the Leeds lose their next game and we pick up a point, we're through. It's as simple as that. Unless Leeds win 18-0 or whatever it is and we lose like 5-0. But that's obviously a pipe dream. That's not happening. So obviously we got our work cut out for us. We can't actually relax a little bit. We've got to keep putting our foot on the gas. I think we would have done that anyway. It's a given. But the fact that we could have had 2 very vital extra points that were there for the taking today, and we didn't really play as if we wanted those points, sort of screams a little bit of complacency, like I said in the previous video. I just feel like the fact that we're out of relegation now means that there is now another false sense of security, and it's not a good thing to possess at all. And it's a little bit worrying because I don't want that same vibe, that same feeling to carry over into the next game. We've got 2 home games coming up, which is really, really handy. Brentford and Crystal Palace, which are 2 games that are going to challenge us dearly. Brentford are probably, the more informed side. They have won quite a few games. They resurrected their season. They could have easily been in this relegation dogfight, but they, credit to them. And that signing of Christian Eriksen has just proved to be absolutely amazing for them. But I think they could be a little bit troubling. We did beat them last time at Goodison 4-1 in the Cup, so it's going to be interesting to see if we can bring that same energy. I don't think we're getting 4 goals, but if we can crack down and get a 2-1 or 1-0, I'll be happy. As long as we get some points and don't come up empty-handed. Palace could be difficult. We got flogged by them in the Cup as well, so that was at Selhurst Park, though. I think that, the fan base is going to be behind this team. It has been very clear that has been the case for a number of games now, ever since the Chelsea game, really, when I think that sense of urgency had gone through the fans. Like, this could be our year that we go down. We've got to, lift the players in order to ensure that we get through this major barrier that we've got going. So, look, I think the fans will play a huge role. They didn't really do that today, but a home crowd is better than, a small amount of people, it wasn't that small today. I think there was about 7,000, but obviously the home crowd, the home dominant crowd, speaks volumes in comparison to 7,000 fans in the away bay. So yeah, but look, I think it's going to be great. And then that Arsenal game, we don't talk about that one yet. We talk about the home games because that's where our best chance is of getting these points. I have a lot more faith, given Leeds are in a world of bother, but we cannot rely on their results. We've got to sort it out on our end first, and then what happens to Leeds and what happens to Burnley is an added bonus. But we're in a good position, or a better position than we were in last week. So yeah, but as I said, we can't get too complacent as fans, as a club, as an organisation. The players cannot do that either. It's going to be interesting. But I hope you enjoyed this one. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the show. You know the deal. Weekly thing. Well, obviously we're going to be doing the next one in a few days' time when Everton do come up against Brentford, and hopefully that results in the 3 points. But have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.